Hi everybody!
Hello.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club, the show where we decided at the last minute to change to a different show than the one we had planned today.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't know how time works.
I know how time works, I just don't know how lying on the internet works.
No, you don't know how time works because you assured me there was an anniversary and it's not until December.
Because the internet told me that the anniversary was on today, the exact day that this episode would be going out. But then I looked a little deeper into it after I planned this episode like 6 months ago. And then it turned out that they lied to me and it wasn't. Today was not the anniversary at all.
No one has ever gone on the internet to tell lies.
Everyone has only done that for their entire lives. Play the theme song! Oh wait, we shouldn't play the theme song yet. I'm Mike.
Are you sure you're prepared for this episode?
No. I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And this is the show where now we play the theme song.
I guess it is.
It's party time!
Viva Piñata, filled with fun.
Filled with fun!
Don't be enjoying Viva Piñata, filled with fun.
Filled with fun!
Viva Piñata, don't be enjoying.
Welcome to picturesque Piñata Island. In its many gardens, all manner of piñatas live, dance, and dream that one day they will be chosen to entertain at a party as only piñatas can. Well, most piñatas, that is.
Oh, fudge! Shake it, shake it, shake it at the party animal. Break it, break it, break it at the party animal. Shake it, shake it, shake it at the party animal. Break it, break it, break it, break it, break it, break it, break it. Viva Piñata, filled with fun.
Filled with fun!
Viva Piñata, don't be enjoying Viva Piñata, filled with fun.
I like this song.
I don't because I know what it portends.
I like it because we don't have to say what the show is. The theme song does it very thoroughly.
Yeah, so we can go home now.
This is Viva Piñata, in case the theme song wasn't clear to you.
It wasn't.
This is the third episode that aired, and it aired on September 9th, 2003.
Wow, almost an anniversary
You're pretty close, I guess.
of this exact stupid episode.
It wasn't on purpose, but...
No, you just wanted to hurt me.
No. The actual reason is that I am streaming Viva Piñata right now, so it's all up in my head place.
I tried to warn you
What?
that it wasn't worth it to watch the show. Just live with it in your head. It's better there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the game. It's one of my favorite games, probably. This show ain't doing it for me.
The show is not very good.
Very good. You know what bothers me the most?
Les Galagoo?
No, actually. No, Fergie Fudgehog is my true enemy.
That's true. If there's one thing I know about you, it's your hatred of Fergie Fudgehog.
And I used to be neutral on fudgehogs as a species, but I've found now that when I play the game, I don't like the fudgehogs anymore.
Yeah.
And it's this guy's fault.
Yeah. Just the way he moves. The way he is.
Yeah. At least he doesn't sound like this in the game. In the game, the fudgehog sounds like Waluigi.
Wah!
Yeah, literally, that's the noise it makes.
And who doesn't love Waluigi?
Everybody loves Waluigi. So, as with every episode of Viva Piñata, we have two segments here. The first is called Legs, and it was written by David Benjoya, who also wrote Candiosity in one of the previous ones we watched.
Oh no.
That was the one where Fergie ate too much candy and got real fat and ended up exploding, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I've noticed in this particular set of episodes, Fergie Fudgehog isn't staying together very well.
We commented before, I think, on how they were using Fergie for, like, body horror.
Yeah.
It might just be this writer who's into that.
It's weird.
Both of the episodes of his that we've watched so far are Fergie Fudgehog body horror episodes.
Did he write the next segment too?
No, just this one.
Because Fergie Fudgehog's limbs fall off in that one just for no reason.
Do they? I didn't even see that.
It's like a throwaway gag where like he does a movement too bigly and his arm flies off. I'm pretty sure, because I was very confused about it. It happened like twice.
Wow. All right. So I don't know what's going on with Fergie, but he's not keeping it together in any sense of the word. Now, the show opens with Fergie Fudgehog's house, and the outside of it is like very game accurate to the point where like all the leaves and branches are in the exact same places.
Do you think they just had the game asset and plopped it in there?
I don't, because it's higher poly than the game asset is.
Oh.
So I don't know exactly. The only difference is that this version has a front door, and in the game it doesn't. It's just open to the elements.
This show is so weird because it's like there are parts where it's clear that they've put a lot of love and thought into it. Like somebody knows the game mechanics. We've talked before about how this actually teaches you some of the game mechanics.
Yeah, and we see that again in this episode as well.
Yeah. And then we see everything else.
So what I was going to say before, my thing with this show is I'm always so disappointed because in the game there are a bunch of human characters, and I think they could have made a good show using those human characters as the main characters and treating the piñatas as animals the way the game does. But this show really wants to take the route of treating the piñatas like humans, even though they don't really look like humans, and having them all stand up on two legs really like deforms their bodies in weird ways.
Yeah.
Like some of the piñatas, especially ones like the horstachios and the cow ones and stuff like that, you can see from looking at them that these bodies are not designed to be standing on two legs.
No, they're horses and cows.
Yeah, and whenever they're standing on two legs, which they usually are in this show, they look really unnatural and contorted.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, now we get to see one of them dancing on his little nubby legs.
Yeah, what a treat. Yeah, Fergie is inside dancing. Apparently he's been practicing for a competition to win a trophy called the 2 Right Feet Trophy.
Which I would argue is just as bad as having 2 left feet.
Yes, but also I think it might be the best gag in the show.
Yeah.
If having 2 left feet means you're bad at dancing, the idea that having 2 right feet means you're really good at it, I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah. I'll give it to them, begrudgingly.
Paulie Pretz-Tail, Franklin Fizzly Bear, and Les Galagugu are all here, hanging out. I really don't like the way Fergie's face is animated. I forgot all about it.
I don't like the way Fergie in general just is.
Yeah, the way he moves.
I know I give Les Galagugu a lot of shit, but we really haven't seen anything from him, whereas Fergie has actively ruined our day multiple times.
Yeah. He does a dance move called, what was it? Hold the Anchovies?
Yeah.
Despite Franklin's warnings that it's too dangerous.
'Cause he'll bust his seams.
And he breaks his legs off.
Yeah, they just rocket off.
Yeah, and candy spills out of him.
And then his friends cannibalize him.
Yeah, they eat the candy.
It's weird.
It's so weird, and this show is so full of weird stuff like that. So in the game, they're piñatas, obviously, because it's Viva Piñata. But the idea of, like, the piñatas breaking apart is kind of glossed over at all points. It's always like, don't think too much about that part.
Right. You're supposed to keep them alive.
But this show really puts it front and center. Constantly.
There's a lot of death.
A lot of, like, morbid... It's body horror. It's a body horror show. That's what I consider it.
Yeah.
Like, now that his legs have broken off, we go to a garage at Piñata Central where Ella Elafanilla is being worked on like a car.
Yeah, there's a guy like underneath of her on the rolly board to get under a car.
There's something so morbid about all the spare piñata faces hung up on the walls.
Right, because this man just has spare piñata parts that he swaps out.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
No.
It's really creepy.
There's something like human centipede about this whole world.
Yeah, so this is Pruitt Profitamol, played by Mike McRae, who started out doing lots of anime dubbing for ADV films and then later has made a career out of doing lots of impressions, it looks like. Especially Mitt Romney.
Okay.
He had a lot of roles playing Mitt Romney.
Found his niche as Mitt Romney's doppelganger.
Yeah, he also was the video game voice for Buzz Lightyear for many years.
All right.
He played Buzz in the Disney Infinity games, a bunch of Kinect games, and also in Kingdom Hearts 3. Ella Elafanilla leaves, and Fergie's friends show up, bringing him in to get his legs fixed. And Pruitt says he's going to need a week to make new ones.
Yeah, which I thought was very weird, considering he just used a stapler to fix Ella, but we find out why.
Yeah. In the meantime, he's going to give him some loner legs. This was weird. First of all, he offers him some giraffe legs. I checked because I didn't remember one, but there is no giraffe piñata.
So it's just giraffe legs?
Yeah, these legs don't belong to anybody.
To be fair, there are also human woman legs.
Yeah, which didn't even seem to be piñata.
No, it's just flesh.
Yeah, with fishnet stockings.
I like that it came with the fishnets.
Also, one of the sets of legs he offers him is the legs of an arachnid, the spider piñata.
Yeah.
And those legs come alive and run around on their own, which really just kind of served to deepen my concerns about how this world works.
I mean, this whole episode, he spends trying to coax his new legs into working.
That's true, they have their own will.
Yeah, they're not under his control. They'll only dance to chicken music.
Yeah, so he gets the legs of a cluckles, although Pruitt says they are cluckle legs, even though the singular name of the chicken piñata is cluckles, not cluckle.
Okay, nerd.
That's whatever. Don't call me a nerd. Do you know what show you're on?
No. I make no secret that I am a fake gamer girl. I don't even know what video games are.
Do you want to know a secret?
What?
You saw these legs, right?
Yeah.
The legs of a cluckles?
Yeah.
You know what a cluckles looks like?
Weren't they later in the episode?
Yeah, but did you see their legs?
Were they really short? Oh, even worse than I thought.
Yeah, so the legs that Fergie gets are like big, realistic-looking chicken legs. But in the game, Cluckle's legs are kind of like Kirby feet.
Yeah, they're little nubs.
They're like Goomba feet.
So whose legs are these?
Who knows? Yeah, it's made clear to us that these legs are not obeying Fergie's desires in any way.
They do not want to dance.
So Paulie tells us they have just 4 hours to get Fergie used to his new legs before the contest. So they start putting on CDs, and the chicken legs just kind of do whatever they feel like to the music. It's not good.
No.
Franklin comes over and says, "That was my last CD after 2 CDs.
Right, this is not like a long montage that we see.
No, there is no noticeable time skip that happens. I rewatched the scene to check. There's no indication that time is skipped.
We do see that he's like rifling through a big thing of CDs, but
apparently there's only 2 in there.
Maybe the rest are all DVDs.
Maybe the rest are all duplicates. Every time he goes to the record store, he sees the same CD he's already bought and is like, "Hey, I like that one. I'll buy another."
Dude, Smash Mouth? Hell yeah.
So here's a really belabored way of moving the plot forward.
Why won't these legs listen to me.
I guess you just don't cluck very well.
That's true, Fergie. You don't cluck very. Cluck very. Cluck berry.
And then leaves to go and get his Cluckberry CD. It reminds me of that old Who's Line bit with the Red Hot Chili Peppers thing, you know?
You know, Colin,
Hey, what's wrong?
I've got a bit of a bug. And I'm a little jittery. Jittery bug. Jittery bug. Jitterbug.
Wow, nice segue.
You know,
When I was a jockey, no, I was, just for a little while. And in my bed, well, it was more of a cot. We had this sort of sanitary paper for the Phillies. Wait a minute, bed cot Philly paper? Red Hot Chili Peppers?
It's really stupid. And that's just what this made me think of.
I miss Who's Line.
Me too. So, listening to the Cluckberry CD, who, in case you couldn't tell, is a chicken.
What?
That gets the legs to dance really good on their own. It just has to be Cluckle's music.
Yeah, they don't respond to anything but other chickens.
Which is true in my experience of chickens.
Yeah, good point. Does that mean Fudge Hog legs only respond to Fudge Hog music?
Don't overthink it.
I'm gonna overthink it. You can't introduce this mechanic of sentient legs that only respond to species-specific music.
Mechanic.
Yeah?
This isn't how the game works.
You can't Frankenstein a piñata together?
Only one, but it's more of a crossbreeding situation.
Okay.
You can get a pig to breed with it. No, you know what? Let's not talk about it because there's an episode of the show about it.
No! I don't want to watch the show!
So we're at the dance contest, which is being hosted by Pecky Pudgeon and Pierre Paribault. They are a pigeon and a parrot, in case you couldn't tell from the names.
Well, Pierre's is a little harder to guess.
Yeah. I think his name is a mixture of parrot and Haribo.
Oh, that's a real stretch.
Yeah. But every piñata's name is a mixture of the animal and a candy.
In case that wasn't clear from every other name that we've given. But would you call a pretzel a candy?
Some of them are more stretches than like some of them are just fruit, like the Swanana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all snacks at least.
Okay, I'll allow snacks.
So Pecky Pudgeon is played by Eric Stewart. Remember him?
No.
Eric Stewart in this show also plays Les Galagugu.
Oh no!
But we mostly know him from his time playing Brock in Pokemon.
What a resume.
He also played Meta Knight, Sword Knight, Blade Knight, and Ku in the Kirby anime.
Crazy.
He did, by the way, he did also play James in Pokemon, but he wasn't playing James yet in any of the episodes we've watched so far.
Right.
He took over James's voice, I think around like the 7th episode. Maybe a bit later than that, I'm not sure. I think it was whatever episode Squirtle came into it was James's switch over.
You're always trying to sneak Pokemon back into here.
Hey, people are requesting Pokemon. People are officially requesting Pokemon in the Discord server right now.
Well, those people are going to get yelled at again.
Yeah, for anybody listening who is not in our Discord server, people were asking for Pokemon, and I threw Mel under the bus.
Yeah, typical.
I was like, well, I keep trying to do more Pokemon, but Mel shoots it down.
Yeah, because if we did Pokemon every time you wanted to do it, we would have like 52 Pokemon episodes by now. I'm trying to keep it varied because we have 7,000 shows to get through.
Yeah. And only 1,000 of them are Pokemon shows. Okay, we also got Pierre Paribault, played by Oliver Wyman, although in this show he's going by his stage name, Pete Zarustika.
Okay.
Oliver Wyman / Pete Zarustika also played Big the Cat in the 4Kids stuff. He played the Fugitoid in 4Kids' Ninja Turtles show. And he was frequently an additional voices cast member in Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Just shuffling around the 4Kids cast as usual.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the case for most of the 4Kids actors.
Yeah.
Pecky is wearing the reporter's camera, which is an accessory you could buy for your piñatas in the game.
Why?
Just, you could just buy clothes and things to put on them if you wanted. Some of them had uses. In fact, this one in particular was required to get a Pudgeon to mate.
That's weird.
They won't do it unless they're both wearing reporters' cameras.
So he's up there trying to fuck?
Maybe. There is at least the distinct possibility that he is horny right now.
There's a non-zero chance.
Yeah, it's not for certain because there are other requirements. I think he needs to have eaten some corn and a couple other things as well. But we don't know what he's eaten. He could be just rock hard up there.
I mean, that's my headcanon. I wish it weren't, but I can't unsee it.
Langston comes out to introduce Fergie. Langston is Langston is the only character from this show who actually does appear in the game as well.
Oh.
He's the only talking piñata in the game. And he's the one who runs all the Piñata Central challenges. Anytime they want a specific piñata for a party, he'll contact you.
That sounds like what he does.
Yeah. So Fergie does his dance and gets a near-perfect score because, as it turns out, the judges are all cluckles.
I did like that reveal.
Yeah, me too.
We don't see the judges beforehand, but after his dance, he's like, the judges really love me for some reason.
Yeah, and it's because he did a chicken dance.
Buckles are cute. I like them.
I like them too. In the game, you can only get them by buying them, I think. They're not a wild piñata.
Yeah, that checks out.
So we see the other competitors. There is a Goobar, which is the sheep piñata. There's an Elefanilla, which is possibly Ella, but there's honestly no way to know.
Right.
And there's 3 Pretz-Tail. Presumably none of these are Paulie because we saw him in the audience already, but...
I love that the Cluckles give the Pretz-Tails a terrible score, presumably because they eat them.
Yes, yeah, because that is a thing in the game. In fact, eating a Cluckles is one of the requirements to get a Pretz-Tail to move into your garden. So,
oh no!
They can either eat a Bunnycomb or a Cluckles.
Well, I can't have them eating my bunnies.
No. Cluckles is probably easier to get as well because you can just buy them, so...
Right.
So then the final contestant comes out, and it's Pruitt, the Profitamol from earlier, and he's wearing Paulie's legs.
How could this happen?
This is so fucked up.
It is. That means that man cut off his own legs, stole somebody else's, and stapled them on there.
Yeah, and knowing as well. This was all a plan.
Right.
It's so fucked up.
This show is weird, Mike.
It's really weird. And now I'm like, okay, so Pruitt is a villain, right?
Yeah, presumably.
I know he's in other episodes. I wonder if they'll treat him as a villain after this, or if he'll just be chill with the... Because it seems like he's the guy who works on all the piñatas, whenever they're busted.
Yeah, he's like the doctor.
Yeah.
But he's like a creepy, warped one.
Yeah, I don't like this. He should lose his license.
I thought you were gonna say he should lose his legs.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Willingly, he cut his own legs off and put Fergie's feet on his body.
And he's gonna lose those too.
He gets the same score as Fergie, exactly the same score. So because there's a tie, they have to have a dance-off. Or I guess each contestant names a move and then the other one has to match it.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird and it was unclear how it would end because Fergie is losing for a lot of this, but it just keeps going anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was an obvious setup for
Yeah.
Hold the Anchovies.
Yeah, it was very obvious that's where it was going. Fergie is losing, but then he challenges Pruitt to the same move that broke his legs at the start. And the chicken legs pull the move off, but Pruitt breaks his legs. Breaks Fergie's legs.
Right.
Doing it.
They shatter and all the candy comes shooting out.
And the Cluckles eat it.
It's weird.
It's weird. I don't like it. So Fergie wins the contest and the trophy. All of the main cast join him on stage to celebrate, except for Hudson Horstachio, who I assume had better places to be than at his friend's dance contest.
Yeah, he's famous apparently.
Yeah, I don't know why he's friends with these guys.
I don't know, but he seems to really like them. They're his only friends.
Not enough to come to the dance contest.
Maybe he's at a party because he's so highly in demand.
Yeah, so that's the end of this segment. And now we get a segment about Hudson Horstachio. I always want to call him Horace Horstachio.
Me too!
What is that?
I don't know, because Horace the horse just sounds better.
Than Hudson? Yeah, it definitely does. This next segment is called Horstachio of a Different Color. And it is written by Andy Bernstein, who wrote for a whole bunch of different TV shows. The most notable one to me was Daria.
Oh.
Yeah. She also wrote for a Monster High movie called New Ghoul at School.
That's me.
In more related to us terms, she wrote for a show called Video Power that we've looked at before.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How?
Remember the Power Team?
Vaguely.
She wrote for that show.
Wild.
That's super
I remember
wild.
there was a tomato.
Yeah.
There was a basketball boy and like a barbarian.
Yep. And Knock.
Yeah, a car.
Oh yeah, the monster truck.
What
Bigfoot.
a weird show.
And the random teen that they all hang out with.
Yeah.
And a pizza man.
Oh yeah. Unclear if he was actually somebody's dad.
Yeah, or if his name was just Papa.
Papa Palermo.
He's waiting for you.
Me and Papa Palermo?
So we start this time at Hudson's house, which again is a mostly accurate representation of an in-game Horstachio house, just with a door added to it. None of the Piñata houses have doors in the game because they have to be able to easily walk in and out.
Right. So they don't stand on their hind legs and use their front ones for turning doorknobs.
Yeah, exactly. So Franklin, Fergie, and Paulie are here, marveling at Hudson's trophies.
This just made me think of Omori when that guy won the tiniest centaur award.
Oh, yeah? I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
there's a teeny tiny centaur, and he had like a bunch of awards for being the tiniest centaur. But then I think he came in second place for one of the tiniest centaur ones. You do find who comes in first place, and it's a mole sprout.
Oh, that's not a centaur.
No.
They are talking about how the Horstachio competition is at the Spring Fair next week.
You're a shoo-in to win the Horstachio competition at the Spring Fair next week, Hudson.
Which will make 5 years in a row.
This is so expositional.
Yeah. And yet it doesn't tell us what a Horstachio competition is.
You know, it didn't even occur to me that both of these episodes start in one of the characters' houses where three friends are discussing the fact that there is an upcoming competition that they are going to enter.
They're pretty similar.
They're not written by the same person.
And yet Fergie Fudgehog's hands and legs come off in both episodes.
Well, maybe he still hadn't got them reattached properly. Now that they can't go back to that Profitamol guy.
Maybe.
So Hudson's agent enters, Simone Cinnamonkey. I always forget about the Cinnamonkey.
I don't really care for the design.
No?
Nah. There's too much chin.
It's a lot of chin. I like the color scheme.
I like the color scheme. It's just a lot of chin.
It is
I feel
a
like
lot
there's
of
a
chin.
lot of wasted face.
Yeah. Simone Cinnamonkey is played by Rebecca Sola, who also plays Ella Fanilla in the show. She tells Hudson that he's losing all his bookings because there's a new Horstachio on the island named Hamilton who's getting all the attention. And he's clearly worried about it.
Yeah, we don't know why he's getting all the attention, why we should care.
No.
What's a Horstachio competition?
Well, obviously they're going to look at all the Horstachios and they're going to say, yep, that's the best one.
That one's the most Horstachio.
That one. The only one who's not wearing a hat.
They thought that it would help them stand out, but little did they know it actually made them less Horstachio.
Yeah, you can't tell it's a Horstachio anymore. It's wearing a
It could be
wrestling
anything.
mask.
It could be the crocodile under there.
So Fergie, Paulie, and Franklin are walking home talking about how competitive everybody gets over the spring fair. And they spot Mabel Musipan setting up a giant sun lamp crane to make her blackberries and daisies grow better before the gardening competition.
Considering how hot and bright they've shown this to be, I think that would just fry your garden.
Yeah, I mean, it fries the other piñatas.
But the plants apparently love it.
Yeah.
It's like she knows that the sun is very powerful and bright and hot, but what she didn't take into account is that it's extremely far away from us.
Yeah. It's the accurate heat of the sun, but it's but it's not far away enough.
Right. It's like 2 stories over the garden.
The house, by the way, that's an accurate Musipan home from the game. Looks like a big udder.
Weird.
Yeah, Mabel Musipan is played by Andy Whaley, who is known for playing Lockette in Winx Club. She was the second voice of Cassidy in Pokemon. Do you remember Cassidy?
As in Butch and Cassidy?
Yeah,
I remember them in theory more than practice.
that's fine. She was also Corina in Tokyo Mew Mew. Although Fergie, Franklin, and Paulie got roasted by the sun lamp, the piñatas in Mabel's garden seem to be fine.
Right, the ones directly underneath it.
Yeah, and they're just like scarfing down berries, or they're trying to.
They're menacing her garden.
She comes down to threaten them before they eat the berries, but there's a quackberry, and it eats a gooseberry, and then it evolves into a juicy goose.
Juicy goose!
That's a hint for the game, for the kids paying attention. Because the game really doesn't give you many hints about how to find like variants and
Right.
evolutions and stuff. I've realized that playing through it again now. You really have to take to the internet to find that stuff out, which was probably the point. Because this game came out when the internet was becoming a bigger source of information.
I guess.
People were starting to stop buying guidebooks and just go to the internet. This was when you could use the Xbox camera to like scan QR codes and receive piñatas using
Oh
them.
man, remember all those barcode scanning things?
Yeah.
What a wild time to be alive.
Yeah. So yes, in the game, if you feed a quackberry a gooseberry, it turns into a juicy goose. And that's the only way to get juicy goose. And this is our introduction in the show to the concept of piñatas evolving into other species, I guess.
Is it?
I think so. I don't think it happened before, did it?
I don't remember. No, I guess not. I guess we've mostly talked about like the 2-headed snake. It doesn't tell you how to get it, but it shows you that you can.
That's true, yeah. There's a 4-headed snake as well.
Wasn't there something about like tears that you needed to do something?
The crocodile, the crocodile rather. You can use the crocodile. His tears work as fertilizer.
Okay, that's right.
So that was something that the show taught us as well.
Right. So yeah, maybe we haven't seen anything evolve.
Because I forgot that they go into a cocoon when they evolve, and then they break out as the new thing.
Yeah.
We only see the Juicy Goose for a second. So the trio go to Pecky Pudgeon to get the scoop on Hamilton. This is not a game-accurate Pudgeon home. And I think I might know the reason.
Why?
A game-accurate Pudgeon home looks like this.
I don't understand. What's wrong with that?
So, for those who can't see the picture I just sent to Mel, the game-accurate Pudgeon home is a statue of Professor Pester, the game's villain.
It's covered in yogurt.
That's not yogurt, Mel. That's something else.
Oh.
It's covered in bird shit. So I think maybe they didn't want to put that on children's TV.
But they will put it in children's video games.
Oh yeah, video games aren't as, scrutinized by the evangelical Christian audience.
I think they're exclusively scrutinized by the evangelical Christian audience.
Yeah, but they have less control over the airwaves. Pecky works for a newspaper which is called the Piñata Yada Yada, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And Pecky is convinced that Hamilton is going to beat Hudson in the competition. Not sure why.
He's the hot new thing.
Is that all it is? He's the new
Yeah.
hotness?
Yeah.
Hamilton shows up to do interviews, and Hamilton Horstachio is played by Sean Schammel.
What a good name.
We've talked about him before because he was the voice of Chortle's Chippopotamus in an earlier episode.
Oh.
Also, he's probably best known as the voice of Goku from Dragon Ball. We also know him as Lucario, and I know him as Black Doom in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. That's one of Shadow's dads.
One of Shadow's dads.
Yeah, Shadow's got 2 dads.
Good for Shadow.
He's gonna. I don't know if they've announced who's playing Black Doom in the new game, because Black Doom is returning for the new game after a 20-year absence.
To check up on his son.
Yeah, I guess so. Here's a gripe I have, right, about this show in general. This episode is called A Horstachio of a Different Color.
Yeah.
But Hamilton is the same color as Hudson?
But later, when he's a zebra.
Well, yeah. But my point is, every piñata has 4 different color variants, but they never use them in this show.
Yeah.
Instead, in this show, whenever they have 2 of the same piñata, they'll just put a hat on one of them. and that's how we're supposed to tell the difference.
Yeah. He also is wearing a chain.
Yeah, and a pair of glasses. But they could have made him, like, there's a red variant, a blue variant, and a green variant. They could have made him any one of those.
But then he wouldn't be zebra.
At the end, I'm talking about now.
I feel like they just didn't want to, confuse the point of their own episode,
But the episode's called A Horstachio of a Different Color.
Yeah, and he turns into a purple zebra later.
Okay, alright. Anyway.
You can take your point and shop it.
Hamilton goes to the bathroom. He excuses himself to go to the bathroom. And we see that in the bathroom, he has a list of Hudson's bookings. And he's calling Simone with fake voices, cancelling all of them. Which seems like a bad strategy.
Why?
Well, like, surely the real people will eventually find out. And they'll be like, where is Hudson?
Eventually, but he will have already have lost to Hamilton.
Oh, this is all just about the competition.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. The Piñata trio hear this, so they decide they're going to pretend to be his fans and ask to show him around the garden so they can run him completely ragged to make him tired before the contest tomorrow.
They steal all his food, they make him worn out.
Yeah, they take him up a Piñata Statue of Liberty and make him take the stairs.
That part confused me because, how would that conversation have gone? You go up ahead, we're right behind you, and then they take the elevator?
Yeah, how did they hide from him the fact that there was an elevator?
Right.
Meanwhile, Hudson's all depressed. He missed his Hoofacure appointment.
Hoofacure.
Grooming is futile.
You're a mess. If you don't pull yourself together, you're gonna lose the competition.
Competition, small-petition! That new guy Hamilton is going to win anyway!
You're throwing your career away, not to mention my 10%, over some new wannabe? Get up!
Simone, leave me to wallow. I'm pulling out of the contest, and that's that. Be sure to slam the door in my face on your way out.
I think Hudson is my favorite thing about this show.
BoJack Horstachio.
Right. Okay. Because doesn't this just feel like BoJack for kids?
Yes.
It's like 20 years earlier. But it feels like BoJack for kids.
Yeah. And we've even got Princess Carolyn here.
Yeah, and I kind of liked this part. I don't know. Seeing this famous horse be all depressed. I mean...
It really just woke something up in me.
I guess it probably just reminded me of BoJack. And I used to like BoJack before it got too depressing for me.
No, you can't run from the hurt.
So Simone pushes him out of the door, where he sees Fergie, Paulie, and Franklin laughing at Hamilton's jokes. And now he's mad that Hamilton's stealing his friends as well as his fans.
I do love that instead of getting more depressed, he got angry about it and determined to win.
Yeah, and he starts working out his mouth muscles.
Because he can't even remember how to smile.
That's right. And lifting weights with your mouth is how you learn how to smile.
Yeah. That's how you get that winning grin.
Now it's nighttime, and Hamilton is begging for sleep, but they're not letting him have it.
Well, they let him have it just in time to flop down into the garden.
Yes. They leave him right underneath Mabel's sun lamp, just as it turns on. And the scream
of him getting burnt alive.
3, 2, 1.
But then he spots all the berries in the garden and he starts feasting on them. And I don't know if this was part of the plan, but if it was...
I was just about to ask.
Yeah. If it was, this seems a little bit, like, too far.
Right.
They've permanently changed him into something else.
What makes you think he's not happier as a zebra?
We really aren't given any indication either way, but what would make them think he would be?
Well, I don't think that they care.
No,
I'm just saying maybe he made the best of a weird situation.
Well, we'll never know, I guess.
Like, they didn't mangle or maim him. But like, what if you woke up one day and then you were a cockroach? And then Franz Kafka writes a story about you.
Oh, you think that was based on a true story?
Yeah.
Could
obviously.
Be. Could be. It's, yeah, well... Yeah, so he eats all of the blackberries and daisies, which in the game is how you get a Zumbug, the zebra piñata. You got to get a Horstachio and you got to feed it a blackberry and a daisy. So that quackberry scene earlier was foreshadowing for this.
Yeah.
He shouts daisies as he's eating, but we don't see him eat any daisies. It's very clearly eating berries at every moment.
Yeah, they're all just round objects that he's throwing into his mouth.
Yeah, no daisies.
Rest assured, he told us they were daisies.
Yeah. So we're at the contest now, the next day. Hudson shows up a little bit late. Again, every entrant in the contest is a default color Horstachio. The only difference is that they're wearing hats.
Yeah.
I really feel like making the hats would be more work than just changing the texture colors. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but they had to make a hat for every one of these. One of them's wearing a custom-built, horse-shaped luchador mask.
Yeah.
Is that not more work to make than to just tint it red?
I don't know. I don't know anything about 3D modeling.
I do. But I don't know exactly how these models are made. It's possible that every single... Because they're covered in little pieces of paper.
Yeah.
It's possible they would have to, like, sit and recolor every piece of paper. But if that's how they made these models, that's super impractical. So I don't know.
Well, you never know. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, Hamilton shows up in a horstachio disguise for a moment. Like, it immediately falls off, but...
Yeah, I barely had time to register what was going on.
Yeah. Everyone's impressed by him, but because he's been turned into a Zumbug, he is disqualified from the horstachio contest. Because that's the only rule. You got to be a horstachio.
That seems like it's a stupid rule. It's not a very inclusive rule.
It's not very inclusive. You're right. You're right. What if I'm a chippopotamus?
Yeah, you should be able to enter the horstachio contest. Maybe you won't win.
Probably won't win. Almost guaranteed. But still. There's a good point, actually. It's a horstachio contest, so obviously the winner is going to be the one that's the most horstachio.
Yeah.
But just let anybody enter. And if they're not a horstachio, just, oh, sorry, you were runner-up, though.
This one just kind of feels like it's a Charmander competition, but you can't bring your Charmeleon.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but at the same time, something about it feels wrong,
I see. Well, it doesn't really treat... Although the Zumbug evolves from the horstachio, they are treated as completely separate species.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the same, because there are only like a handful of Piñata that evolve into other Piñata. It's not like an established mechanic. It's a secret. It's a secret thing. So it's not quite the same as like a Pokemon evolving.
Right.
But I get your point. Mabel Musipan shows up. She's like, hey, all of my blackberries and daisies are gone, and this guy who used to be a horstachio is a Zumbug now. And you know how that happens.
Listen up, kids. This is how you get one of your own.
Yeah, basically. It's a little bit heavy-handed about the teaching moment, but, he was caught red-handed.
He was caught purple-hooved.
He was caught in HD. Hudson's all mad at his friends until they tell him that they faked being Hamilton's friends to help him.
I'd like to thank, well, not these guys.
But Hudson, we were only hanging out with Hamilton to help you.
You faked friendship just for me?
They don't elaborate.
No, but he does immediately believe them.
Of course he does. He's desperate for any out of this situation. So he tells Simone to cancel his entire schedule so that he can go celebrate with them. Presumably indefinitely.
Indefinitely?
Well, that's the end of the show, Mel.
Thank God.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No!
I thought it was good.
No, you didn't.
All right. Oh, but what about the legacy?
No.
No, you don't. You're not going to ask me this time?
No, I'm not.
I've got something.
Fine.
So you know how Pecky Pudgeon and Pierre Paribault were the hosts of the dance competition?
Yeah.
They would later go on to be the hosts of the Xbox 360 party game, Viva Piñata Party Animals.
Wow.
So that comes from this episode.
You're welcome, world.
Yeah. I'm still mad that they didn't show... Just make a different color piñata, and then I won't be asking if one of the piñatas on stage was Paulie Pratt's tail or not, because I'll know, because they'll be different colors than him.
You'll know because he was in the next scene in a different place.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have to wait to figure it out.
I don't want to have to use any more brain cells than I need to. They're in short display these days.
Every piñata comes in 4 different colors. They should be using the different colors.
This is the hill I will die on.
Like, imagine if... What's a good analogy? Imagine if, in the Pokemon games, every single Gastrodon that ever appeared was always the blue one, and they never ever used the pink one.
They never ever use any of the Butterfree wing patterns or the different Arboks anymore.
That's true. That's true.
They broke Spinda, so the spot pattern doesn't work anymore.
No, it does. It just doesn't work in Pokemon Go.
Oh, fine.
There's only like 6 spot patterns or something in Pokemon Go, as opposed to the thousands that there are in the main games. But those thousands still work. It just means that you can't transfer one from Pokemon Go to home.
Oh, darn. My favorite game, Pokemon Go.
You got anything else to say about Viva Piñata?
If this show never darkens my door again, it'll be too soon.
Join us next time for Viva Piñata. I don't know when it will be, but we'll do it again. Because we love Viva Piñata fans.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Have we ever had a Viva Piñata fan?
Jamie Core.
All right. I guess we have no choice.
Hi, Jamie. Yeah, Jamie stopped by my stream the other day to let me know that Viva Piñata is one of their favorite games of all time.
Game is different. Game is different, Mike.
How you feel about the show, Jamie? Let us know.
I have no problems with the game. I don't want to watch the show. I don't.
Well, I think that's unfair.
To whom?
I think the show's great. I think the show deserves a reward.
I'm going to buy you every piece of Fergie Fudge Hog merch that I can find and send it to your door.
I think this show is my Donkey Kong Country.
I don't like it.
It freaks me out and it scares me and it makes me think about things that I don't want to think about, but that just makes me want to watch it more, you know?
No.
I'm like, well, how are they going to address this? Are they going to address this?
Of course they're not. It's a 4 kids.
They're addressing
Viva
it more than
Piñata
more than I would ever expect. And I've looked into the future. I know that there's more body horror to come.
Of course there is. That's what this show is about, Mike.
This show is about finding new and creative ways to
get past the censorship.
Give me the Ghiblies. Who's going to cannibalize someone else in the next episode?
Spoiler alert, Fergie gets eaten.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. We haven't even reached the point where the show's villain has showed up yet.
There's a villain?
There's a villain. He's not appeared yet.
Oh.
So we got to come back to see his deal.
Must we?
Yeah, we must. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you to our club VIPs, Jamie Core and Mark Kelly.
Thank you.
We love you.
Sorry you have to watch Viva Piñata with your ears.
Or you're welcome.
No.
How do you feel about us watching Viva Piñata? Sound off in the comments. And if you'd like to join the club VIPs, you can head to patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub, where that's the thing that goes down. I'm Skull Pirate Mike, and you can find me on the internet in various places. Blue Sky is my main right now.
And I'm tired.
Bye!
If you want to find us, don't you look in the book? It's me, right? It's me. We're on Piñata Island. Come take a look.
We're filling up with fun to give your party a swing.
Swang, swang. You know the party's our thing. Barabongo. Viva Piñata, we dance in the sun. Yeah. You got Piñata, the party's begun. With maximum horsepower. This is our candy, we're sure you'll agree. Saying Piñatas are the ones for me. One more time. Saying Piñatas are the ones for me. Me and you, baby.
So I'm hearing you don't like Viva Piñata.
I feel I've made that abundantly clear.
I don't know. Maybe one more episode. We'll figure out how you feel about it then.
I think that I'll quit the show. Goodbye from me.